So students, in this module we will learn about the types of tides and ocean currents. So let's begin. In the beginning we need to learn about certain important concepts to understand the types of tides. The first one is syzygy. Syzygy is a phenomena or astronomical phenomena when different heavenly bodies are arranged or aligned in straight line. Here we are learning about tides. So here syzygy means an alignment of the three celestial objects, the sun, the earth and the moon. This is the diagram. Sun, moon and earth, they are arranged in a straight line. They are aligned in a straight line. This is called syzygy. One more diagram, you can see the position of the earth, the sun, and these are the two positions of the moon shown, where this is the new moon and this is the full moon. So students, these are the diagrams. This is the definition. The next topic is opposition and conjunction. So opposition and conjunction are the conditions of new moon and of full moon. Opposition happens when the sun and moon are not aligned in straight line, rather they are at 90 degrees. Whereas conjunction is the phenomena when all the three, the sun, moon and earth, they are in straight line. The next one is apogee and perigee. So apogee and perigee are two different phenomena. When the moon is nearest to the earth in its orbit, then it is called perigee, and when it is farthest from the earth in its orbit, it is known as apogee. Now students, we have seen the concept of syzygy, the diagrams. So this is the diagram of apogee and perigee. Children, you can see the distance of the moon and the earth here. You see the distance is more, whereas here the distance is less. So when it is closer, it is perigee, and when it is farther, it is known as apogee. So while moving around the earth, the moon, at certain time it reaches close to the earth, close here, and sometimes it reaches far or goes far from the earth. Now students, the next concept is aphelion and perihelion. So aphelion is the condition or the position of the earth in its orbit while it is moving around the sun. So aphelion is the position when the earth is farthest from the sun in its orbit, and perihelion is the position of the earth in its orbit around the sun when it is closest to the sun or nearest to the sun. So children, the apogee and perigee is the position of moon in its orbit around the earth, whereas aphelion and perihelion is the position of the earth around the sun when it is in its orbit. So in one position it is nearest, whereas on the other position it is farthest. So these are the concepts. It will be helpful to understand the types of tides. The next topic is types of tides. So the concepts which we have learned earlier, on the basis of that we will understand the topic types of tides. Here the first one is spring tide. These tides are produced when the moon, sun and earth are almost in straight line. So children, this is the most important thing that we should know, that in this condition, when the spring tides occur in the ocean, the moon, sun and the earth are in straight line. So this is syzygy, when all the three heavenly bodies are in straight line. The tides produced are of greatest range, means the height of the spring tides are more than the normal high tides. They are much higher than the normal high tides. Tides with a great tidal range than ordinary tides are known as spring tides. So spring tides are much higher than the ordinary high tides, and it occurs twice in a month. We call it a lunar month, either in conjunction or opposition. So children, we have learned these two concepts also, conjunction or opposition, the condition of new moon and full moon. So let's see the diagram. So students, this is the spring tide. Here you can see the sun, the moon and the earth. They are in straight line. This is the condition of full moon and this is the condition of new moon. So during opposition as well as during the conjunction, both the phenomena, when the sun, moon and earth come in straight line, then occurs spring tide. Why? The reason is, moon is much closer to the earth and its gravitational pull is maximum. Sun is very far, so its gravitational pull is not so much. But here, when all the three heavenly bodies are in straight line, sun actually, its gravitational pull is added to the gravitational pull of the moon. And so the tides are higher than the normal high tides. This is because the sun's gravitational force is added to the moon's gravitational force, and so the water of the earth is pulled more, and therefore the spring tides which are formed, they are much higher than the normal high tides. So students, this is the concept of spring tides. The next one is neap tides. The moon revolves around the earth on its orbit, having different phases. Now students, we know that the moon has its own orbit and it revolves around the earth, and as it gradually move or proceed in its orbit, there are different phases, and this is completed in a month. We call it a lunar month. So the moon revolves around the earth in its orbit, having different phases. On the half moon days, when the moon is at the first and the last quarter, the sun and the moon are at right angle to one another in relation to the earth. The gravitational pull of the sun opposes that of the moon, and in this case the high tides are lower and the low tides are higher, and these tides are known as neap tides. So children, we will see the diagram. This is the neap tide. Here the first quarter and the last quarter position of the moon. What happens? The moon, the earth and the sun, they are in 90 degrees, they form at a right angle. So in both the position, in first quarter as well as in last quarter of the moon, the sun, earth and moon are at right angle. So what happens? The sun, it diminishes or cuts the gravitational pull of the moon. The gravitational effect of the gravitational force of the moon is reduced by the gravitational effect of the sun. So the high tides are lower than normal and the low tides are higher than normal. Means the high tides cannot become very high because the gravitational pull of the moon is affected, is reduced, is cut down by the gravitational effect of the sun. This is because they are aligned in right angle. They are not aligned in straight line, but they are aligned in right angle. So this is how the neap tides are formed. The next concept is ocean currents. So what are ocean currents? The regular movements of water from one part of ocean to another in a defined direction in the surface water of an ocean is ocean current, or they are called ocean currents. So students, you can see several red and black lines all over the ocean. So they actually show the movement of the ocean currents. So when the ocean water move in a particular direction, it is the direction is defined either due to the wind or the temperature or the density or salinity, or there are several other reasons that lead to the movement of ocean currents. So what happens? The ocean currents begin from the equatorial region and it moves towards the cold polar region, and there they become cold and again they start moving towards the warm region of equator. They reach near the equator, they become warm and again they move towards the cold polar region. In this way, in the northern hemisphere as well in the southern hemisphere, there is circulation of ocean currents in all the oceans. And you know students, we have learned that all the oceans are connected. Every ocean is connected to each other. So the currents keep on moving in different oceans and they form their own cycle in the northern hemisphere as well as in the southern hemisphere, that is to the north of the equator and to the south of the equator. So there are several ocean currents in different oceans. We basically learn about the currents of Pacific Ocean, the currents of Atlantic Ocean and the currents of Indian Ocean. So before learning about the different currents, we should know the types of ocean currents. So students, there are two types of ocean currents. warm ocean current and cold ocean current. The warm ocean currents start from the equatorial region and proceed towards the pole. Wherever they pass by, they increases the temperature, and when they increase the temperature, the rate of evaporation increases, and this leads to the formation of clouds and heavy rainfall occurs. Whereas the cold ocean currents, they are cold in nature, so from wherever they pass, they reduce the temperature and they also reduce the rate of evaporation, and they are often responsible for the process of desertification, because when they reduce the rate of evaporation, the rate of condensation also reduces and therefore rainfall reduces, leading to formation of deserts. So students, this is one of the biggest reason that almost all the western coast of the continents, you can see South America, coast of South America, western coast, there is cold ocean current, Peruvian current. In the coast western part of North America, there is cold Californian current. Then in Australia, West Australian cold current. In Africa, the Benguela current, which is cold. The Canaries current, which is cold. So all the western coast of the continents, we will see the cold currents are moving. And did you notice that on the western margins only the deserts are there in the continent? So all the hot deserts or tropical deserts, they have mostly formed due to the ocean currents. Here is the Mojave Desert, Sonoran Desert. Here is the Atacama Desert. Here is Kalahari and Namib Desert in Africa. Here lies the Sahara Desert in Africa. Here is the West Australian Desert in Africa. So these deserts are mostly on the western part. This is because of the cold ocean current that reduces the moisture and leads to desertification or formation of deserts. So students, this is the nature of the warm and the cold ocean currents. Now we will learn about the major or important ocean currents, and we will begin with the Gulf Stream. So the Gulf Stream, you can see this is the Gulf Stream. It is one of the strongest and largest warm current that originates from Gulf of Mexico. This is, children, the Gulf of Mexico, and it is near about 20° north latitude, and it flows northward. It starts from here and it flows northward and along the eastern coast of North America. So all along the eastern coast, it starts from here and flow all along the eastern coast of North America. It is a fast flowing current with an average speed of about 30 kilometers per day. Its average width is about 70 kilometers. So how much area it acquires is about 70 kilometers. Newfoundland is a place out here. You can see this is a Newfoundland. So here, students, its water gets mixed with the cold water of Labrador current. You can see Labrador current is a cold current which is proceeding towards equatorwards, and the Gulf Stream is proceeding polewards. So when they meet here near Newfoundland, it's a small island. So when they meet here, what happens? When they meet, it leads to the formation of dense fog. The foggy condition around Newfoundland are very dangerous for the navigation of ships. So this is how the ocean currents or the Gulf Stream, even when it meets with the Labrador current, it has a great influence in the coastal area, and the most affected part is Newfoundland. So students, this is about the Gulf Stream. Now next we will learn about the North Atlantic Drift. You can see as the Gulf Stream proceeds in the Atlantic Ocean, it is now here known as North Atlantic Drift. At approximately 40° north latitude, the Gulf Stream comes under the influence of rotation of the earth. So here the Gulf Stream current, it comes under the influence of rotation of the earth and westerly winds and flow northeast. It starts flowing northeastwards direction, and therefore it is known as North Atlantic Drift. Why the word drift is used? When an ocean current comes under the influence of wind, that is here the Gulf Stream has come under the influence of westerly wind. So now it is known as a drift. Drift is also ocean current, but when it is under the influence of wind, it is known as drift. So here it gradually speed decreases and it gradually widens. It occupies a larger area. It is a prominent slow moving current. After reaching Western Europe, when it reaches here, Western Europe till here, it split into three parts. It split into three different parts. Eastward to Britain, that is here, the Great Britain, and it moves northward further to Scandinavia and Arctic, and southward it moves as the cold Canary current. So students, as it proceeded towards Britain and as we move north towards Scandinavia and then further to Arctic region and towards south, it becomes cold Canary current. So like this, the North Atlantic drift proceed and it split into different parts. Now, the warm waters of the Gulf Stream and the North Atlantic. The Gulf Stream and the North Atlantic both have warm ocean currents. So they modify the weather condition of Eastern America and also Western Europe, keeping the seaports open and ice free even in the severe winter season. So children, even if it is a severe winter season, you know that this part of Europe and America, they are in temperate zone. So in spite of being in temperate zone and low temperature, the warm ocean current modify the climate and keep the seaports of Western Europe and Eastern America frost free even during winter. The next ocean current that we are going to learn about is the Labrador current. It is a cold current. As you can see, this current is forming in the cold Arctic region and it is moving towards the equator. So this current originates in the Arctic Ocean and it flows between Greenland and the Baffin Islands. So there are Baffin Islands and Greenland. So between them flows the cold Labrador current, and it makes harbors of coastal Labrador icebound for 6 months in a year. So the coastal harbors of the Labrador become icebound. It is like frozen for about 6 months in a year, and the current here, it merges with the Gulf Stream. This is the Gulf Stream and this is the Labrador. So both the current, when they merge near Newfoundland, this is Newfoundland, they cause fog and deposition of plankton. So dense fog is caused and also they bring plankton. Plankton is actually food for fish, and the several varieties of fishes are found here. And here is, we call it fishing bank or fishing grounds, and the name of this fishing ground here is Grand Banks. So Grand Banks has rich variety of fishes and it is very popular for plankton and variety of fishes, which is brought by the cold Labrador current. So this is all about the Labrador current. Now students, next we are going to learn about other two currents, that is another cold current which is known as Kuril or Oishio current. So we will find it here, Oishio current or Kuril current. So just like the Labrador current, this is also a cold current. This cold current originates from the Bering Strait. So this is the Bering Strait. This is a narrow channel of water between America and Asia. So this actually separates North America from Asia, and from here originates the Oishio current. It is cold in nature and it flows southward. It flows southwards along the coast of Kamchatka Peninsula. So this is the Kamchatka Peninsula, as it is surrounded by water from all the three sides. So this Kamchatka Peninsula, what happens, the Oishio current flows along it and also along the Kuril Islands. So like that, it flows along the coast and it brings cold water and icebergs from the Arctic Ocean to the coast of Russia and Japan. So to the coast of Russia and Japan, it brings iceberg as well as the cold water from the Arctic region. It gets divided into two branches near 45 degree north. So here it also gets divided into two branches. You can see at 45 degree north latitude. So this is all about the Kurile or Oishio current. It is known as Oishio and as well as Kurile. Both the names are being used for this current, and as it originates in the Arctic region, it is a cold current. Now children, you can see just opposite to the Oishio current is moving a warm current, which is known as the Kuroshio current. So this is a warm current and is the most important warm water current in the North Pacific Ocean. In the northern part of the Pacific Ocean, the Kuroshio current is the most important current. The water of the North Equatorial current divide of Philippines. So students, here is Philippines. So as the warm current start from the equatorial region, it get divided, and when the part which moves up forms the Kuroshio current. It is also known as the Japan current because it passes all along the coast of Japan. The Kuroshio current develops partly due to the Coriolis force and partly due to the obstruction of the Philippines in the flow of the North Equatorial current. When the North Equatorial current proceeds, then it gets diverted and form the Kuroshio current, and also due to the the Coriolis force. So like this is a warm current. It modifies the temperature of the eastern coast of Japan and keep the coast warm even during the coldest month. The coldest month here in Japan is January. So even in January, the coastal area remains comparatively warmer. So students, this is all about the Kuroshio current or the Japan current. That's all in this module. Thank you.